Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever, whenever that you may be tuning in. This is Yonks, and this is yet another live stream here for AI Agents.box. This is day 26. This is the last day. We only have a couple more hours left of January 2025. And this is day 26 of our 180-day live stream sprint and marathon. And here on the screen is our Google Docs, where we're organizing all of the conversations around here. Very templated document, but love talking about our FELG culture, fun, earning, learning, and giving. And this is an office hours, and as you can see here, don't have any firm agenda, and that's by design. And really wanting to see if there's anything from Ernest or I Am Lotus that we should be talking about on our office hours here this evening.
We could always go over the business plan.
I know, did you see I had that open in the other tab?
Let's go.
All right. Well, and just want to extend it here for anybody that may be tuning in. We are watching. I'm going to say hello to my friends on the live stream real quick. So if there's anything that you want to bring up, feel free to chime in. And I see we have a comment from Amy Marcella, Building in Public. So LFG, here we go. And on our business plan, so let's actually put a link in. We're talking about here my IRA.fund business plan, which is very much a work in progress. So this is created a URL redirect at plan.myira.fund. And let me throw this in, and I'm going to throw in a draft here. And then grab my little bank emoji from the clipboard real quick. Here we go. And then I'm going to just throw this on the live stream over here. So if anybody is watching, they can take a look at that as well. All right, so I was playing around a little bit. So here is was extending some of the tabs. One of the things wanting to do, like I really like making the document more simple, something that we can really embrace, but then really having this be an iterative process. So this is the draft business plan for my IRA fund, and I'm going to put in here in parentheses version, and I'm going to put in brackets version 0, and I'm going to put in here, this is 2025 Q1. And one of the reasons why the business plan is important is that we're planning to do a securities exemption using Rule 504 Regulation D. And one of the requirements of that is to have a business plan. So, real quick, before we get in, start rolling our sleeves up, I do want to show our slide over here for our launch phases of my IRA fund. And I really should put in here, and I think I'm going to update this slide with a new header of founding members, just to add a little bit more weight on, because really would like to give these founding members some input on things. And I think that we should just keep this maybe as a version 0 of the business plan, that we can say, hey, this is a great version 0 of the business plan. And then our 100 founding members will collectively create version 1 of the business plan. So what are your thoughts on that idea, Ernest and Lotus, as far as version 0 for, and then version 1 for our founding members? Does that make sense?
Yeah, you could use it.
Okay.
I mean, you still need a plan to get 100 people.
No,
That's a business
and
plan. That's the first business plan.
I absolutely agree. Now, here's the thing. Like, having a plan in a written document and having an execution strategy. Because one of the things that I really loved your thoughts around a campaign, because like here we've got some ideas, and this is really what this document here, the launching AI agents, this all of this is to really organize our thoughts. And a business plan is definitely a document for organizing thoughts, but there's also some other tools like we created a D form, which is now at Megaphone, and one of the products that they're creating is a campaign. So,
The
like when we're talking
tool
about,
is not a business plan.
no, I 100% agree, and you're right because a business plan is to capture, um, and there's like here you've we this is some comments that you added as far as some elements in here, and then the
Using deform is just one tool that's a decision to use as part of a marketing campaign that's developed when you develop your business plan and strategy, more particularly.
Uh, agree. Yeah, and that's more of a and the deform specifically is more of a mechanism. Like we position the deform that we created as a founding member application slash wait list. Like right now, we're not in a position to onboard founding members yet, but that's one of the things that we're wanting to do on Super Bowl Sunday, where I'm planning to onboard myself as founding member number one. But one of the things that I did here to organize here on the document is
So,
I'm going to,
to be clear though, you are currently onboarding people to understand that project.
what do you mean
Or,
by that?
well, the people that are going to execute the plan to get 100 people don't necessarily have to be the people that buy um,
Well, not
a membership into the business. But I want to be clear that that means you're still onboarding people to the project in its incubation stages, its baby stages, and that I think needs a plan. And so you identifying that onboarding stuff, which is just part of executing the business plan, is all needs to happen before so that you can actually before the 100 people. You keep
well, no,
making
I will
statements
absolutely, I
that's
will
like you're
absolutely.
not going to onboard anybody until after you have 100 people, and it's like no, like you
Well,
are
no,
currently
I will
onboarding
absolutely
people.
disagree, Ernest, because here's why. If I had a trusted friend that says, "Hey, you need to get on board with this. It's $197," um, and it was fulfilling a need for me, I wouldn't read a business plan. So like this is where I put a different value on a business plan than some people may. And there's some people that may love reading a business plan. It's not my bag. I'm not one that loves reading business plans. I don't put a high value on business plans because I think most of it is just fluff that is architected to, and
This is
there's
why you
different.
struggle with onboarding though, because you're looking at the business plan as this thing, and the business plan does nothing more than answer some very basic onboarding questions to a project or idea.
Right, but I also, and again, like this is where different things communicate differently with different people. Me, I don't like business plans or white papers. I'm more of a kinetic learner. I learn by doing. And reading is not some like reading a business plan. I personally like the reason that we're creating the business plan is that it's a best practice and it's a requirement for our our offering, that our private placement offering. So, do we need to create a business plan? Absolutely. Do we need to have a business plan in place before we begin onboarding founding members? No, I don't believe so. Now, do we need to have a
No, but
business?
you need an onboarding plan.
Right. Well, I agree, but we're talking about a business plan right now, and the
That
onboarding plan.
the onboarding of business is to onboard.
Well, this we're talking about a document like this. We're working in a Google Docs. The business
Yeah.
plan will, and will likely be a PDF. That's the standard internet document format. Um, so like onboarding process is not the same thing as a PDF business plan. So anyway, going back to like one of the things wanting to do here is to clean up some of the details of this main page in the business plan. So this is a foundation, like right here, foundational elements. So what I'm going to do right now is move these foundational elements to the foundation subtab, copy, paste, so that we can have a more clean home page for the business plan document. Because the goal is to like have where we can just print this out and use these other subtabs to organize some thoughts around these. So let me rename this other tab to rename revenue model, And same thing, I'm going to move the revenue model overview to this tab. And that looks like it all copied and pasted well.
Jason, I just want to
Yes.
comment. Not everybody learns like you. Some of them, even some of my friends, would say, "Send the link so I can read up on it." That's what they, and we need to be.
No, I am absolutely in agreement. That's why that we're going through this exercise, and it's also having a business plan is the best practice. We have to have a business plan. Nobody's saying that we don't need to have a business plan. What I'm saying though is that I don't think that we need to have a business plan in place before we open the door to begin onboarding people in this initial phase. So that's the only thing that I'm saying is that like I'm
And I'm
fully
just
in.
saying you still need a plan. I don't doesn't matter what you call it.
No,
And
and
it's
and
gonna have the same
I
elements.
feel that we're operating like this slide is a plan itself. And like one of the other things that is even more important in my opinion than a business plan is a pitch deck. And like we absolutely need to have a pitch deck. Like I've got follow-up workflow to connect with Pitch Dojo so that we can hopefully get my IRA fund pipeline at a future Pitch Dojo event, whether it's February, probably more likely March. But yeah, like a pitch deck is one way to communicate a plan. A business plan is another way to communicate a plan. Like what we've already outlined is a plan. Like the plan to like creating this deform is a component of our plan. So we're all talking the same things, and this is why all of these different pieces of collateral create a well-founded and well-rounded plan. Because again, some like a 30-second video may be enough for people. Like, our pain point is $7,000 in transaction fees. That's our pain point because I've been looking for other solutions and I haven't found another solution that is exciting. And that's one of my personal motivators is to stop paying hundreds and thousands of dollars in transaction fees to engage in crypto the way that I want to engage in crypto. That's one of the motivating reasons that I'm creating this. And that's, anyway. So yeah, we're all saying the same things. We all communicate differently, and we can create and build a portfolio of assets that communicate to however that people like to be communicated with.
You said earlier the 5K entry into the club and then the 5K to put into your IRA. Is that stage after the launch stage? And is the memberships schema in the phases essentially the revenue model before the 5K, the 10K for the IRA?
Yeah, so to answer that, and I'm not sure why that was checked because I don't think have the initial founding member agreement done. So I unchecked that on our deliverable for the alpha phase. So the first thing is creating, and we've already created the 197 founding member NFT using Unlock. And then what's going to be included in the founding member agreement is basically an intent, letter of intent for investing 5K into my IRA fund. And again, like this is not something that's available for whomever is watching. We're following private placement parameters around this, but it's over a 6 month here from whenever, whether it's here, February, March, whatever the time frame is. And this is to fulfill the ethos of a fair launch. So what the vision is here is the only people that are going to be able to invest in my IRA fund as a project during the alpha phase are these 100 founding members. We, the 100 founding members, will make a decision if we want to allow outside capital to invest here before we go to the beta phase, or if we're like, hey, we've got enough capital to keep on building what we're building. And this is one of the things, I'm not going to unpack that, but we, the 100 founding members, again, really wanting to fulfill the ethos of founding members being able to have some say in what we're building. So the trigger event will be whether we decide to allow outside capital or potentially use a launch pad, or let's say, hey, let's onboard the next 1,000 members. And that will be a key decision that the 100 founding members will make, where we go from alpha phase to the beta phase. And this is where we continue to work on building out our MVP, because the goal over here, in my opinion, with the launch phase is to have like a mobile app that's a really dialed in, amazing UX UI. So that's the vision with onboarding people through the first two phases. So, and that's one of the reasons wanting to have the one-on-one conversation with people so that can clearly set these expectations. I would really like to automate this as much as possible, but it's really important to me because we're building a cooperative member association is to have ethos aligned people, because this is a very different IRA solution than what most people are familiar with. And I'm not going to unpack the vision for really my IRA fund to be a platform, but like one of the things that is not largely existent, most financial situations in America today are so transactional, there's no sense of community. And I am Lotus and Ernest, how much community is important to me, like embracing and building culture into what this is instead of just being financial transactions. That's kind of the vision as well. So plan home. So all right, so let's see. Got a going back to the business plan. So let's see if we can. Let me bring up in Venice real quick. Venice AI. And we're going to keep using DeepSeek. Uh, please create a business plan outline using plain English. See what DeepSeek comes up with this. I'm going to add this to our agenda here.
I believe a pitch deck, a one-page pitch deck, is a good idea.
Uh, yeah, absolutely. Let's put that on the assets list. Let's see. And let me actually just do that over here on IRA fund. Do we have a good assets list somewhere? I don't think that we have an assets list. So let me put in here, and I'm not going to split this up into the deliverables. I'm just going to put assets we need. So pitch deck, and we already have this at deck.myira.fund. Very much work in progress. WIP, work in progress. And business plan. Plan.myira.fund. WIP, copy and paste again, very much work in progress. And one pager. And what should we have this? One page dot. Do you like that? One page dot myira.fund. Sure. I heard Ernest chuckle. I'll go with it. It's easy to remember, right? What do you think, Lotus?
A good name?
Okay, well, I'm gonna put on here. This one doesn't exist yet. So does not exist yet. We can make that happen fast. And we will use a Google slide for this. And this is another like a one page. It's a great piece of collateral that I would have no problem like allocating some funds on, because like the opportunity here to have for us as founding on-chain ambassadors, because in my opinion every good one pager should have like a QR code on it or something, but like also that's something that we as ambassadors could use, to circulate. So what other, I mean, I think that this checks most of the boxes. Is there anything else like key assets that you think that we need? I'm gonna actually make this a what is this, a heading one here? I'm gonna make this a heading two. Nope. Didn't.
I mean, you keep saying social media is a deliverable.
Um, yeah, it is, and I mean we've got some of that in here. I still haven't created the YouTube channel. It's definitely, and mentioned Facebook and Instagram both. Instagram. Those are Meta is not losing their traction as far as the king linchpin of global social media, and that trend is I don't think that there's ever been a down quarter where they haven't had user growth across their ecosystem, but yeah. Okay, so let's see here. And this might look a lot very similar to but let me actually just put this in here, business plan outline. I'm going to make this another tab in our Google document. Um, the business plan Google document. Let's see, add subtab and rename. And I'm going to just put in here outline because this is a whole document about. I'm just going to rename this to home outline. And going back, let's just copy this. I'm not sure how well that this will. I'm going to just copy this here too. Um, I'll throw this in Telegram as well. It's my Telegram. So Telegram, I'll will update this later. That was a draft. Created this or what was this? This DeepSeek R1 prompt during office hours. What office hours is this? 22? Is that right? Office hours. Day 26, 22. All right. Here's the link for that prompt. Oh. What's this prompt again? Please create a business plan outline using plain English. And plain English is something that I'm a huge fan of. This is something that our legalese friends don't gravitate towards, but I'm much more of a fan. And there are actually standards around plain English as well. Okay, prompt.
So
go ahead, Ernest.
you're working in the phase 0 section, but all that we're working on is actually happening during the pre-launch phase.
Okay, so what are you talking about now? For my IRA fund?
Yeah. So that's all tasks
Yes.
you're checking off in the 0 phase,
Yes.
but it's stuff we're doing in the pre-launch phase so that when phase 0 launches, we have the ability to go get
Okay,
100
fair.
people.
Fair. Control C. True. So this is what should we phase pre-launch?
Mm-hmm.
And this is functionally January, right? Because we're talking about Super Bowl, so January 2025. So good
Well,
call.
until we're ready to execute a plan for phase 0, we won't be finished with the pre-launch phase, because the pre-launch phase is essentially setting up the plan for the next phase. And then by the time phase 0 is done, we'll have everything to launch, you know.
Let's see how well I did on these headlines. Let me update the stuff here. Must not have been that good. Oh, that's a different section. I was in the deliverables phase pre-launch. Yeah, so that's all right. Yeah, so on the you're absolutely right because we've definitely been doing all this in a pre-launch phase, and this will be when we go into the next
And
one.
then
So
phase 0 essentially starts with the requirements. So in order to move into phase 0, you're going to need, to be able to explain it. You're going to have to be able to purchase the lifetime money back guarantee first year. NFT, and then you're gonna have to have all your.
So let's put February 9th, 09th, February 2025 live stream for Yonks. And let me put another, because one of the things that intentionally did was um we didn't let's do set up uh unlock protocol checkout
Well,
URLs.
see, yeah, you don't want to get that specific there because the requirement is just that the whole checkout process works, right? The requirement is that you can actually purchase the NFT and get plugged into the community and do, either participate or follow what it's doing.
Yeah, and this doesn't have to be like automated because that's what we're building towards. And this is one of the things that I'm not even sure like how much, just to go back to these first two phases. Like, sure, I would love to automate this, but like this is something that have no problem doing manually. Now, especially here in the alpha phase. Now it's a very different dynamic when we're looking to onboard the first 100 members versus flipping a switch where we're looking to potentially onboard the next 1,000 members. And one of the things too that I want to be cognizant of is, as you both know, we're architecting a very lucrative two-tier affiliate program, and I'm not sure how much that really want to amplify the opportunity for on-chain ambassadors to and this is something that I really want our 100 founding members to make, because we can, in my opinion, overcomplicate things by like that's one of the things that I see happen a lot is over engineering things, and instead of just like leaning in and creating the dynamic to provide but anyway, starting to ramble here. And yeah, you've got a great point, Ernest, is that like all the stuff that we're doing is absolutely in a pre-launch phase, and then like there's a much like whether it's a shorter list here or not, this is something that we can continue to work on. But I'm wanting like I think that we can begin onboarding, because the sooner that we start demonstrating traction in some quantifiable manner, and there's, I mean, like we've got
As soon
like
as
one
you
of the,
have an onboarding funnel that you can run, you'll be
yeah,
able to do
well,
that.
I agree. I don't think that we need a funnel, because like you think about our deform, that's functionally a funnel, and that can be just one step in a funnel. And this goes back to like um documenting a user journey, like step one, um fill out the deform. Step two is like have one-on-one with Yonk's team, and hopefully this will evolve to AI agency. Step three, mint founding member NFT. Step four
Yeah.
is add uh, inputs to MVP for beta phase. So add feedback. And feedback, like this is something, whether it's getting feedback from people or getting our AI agents to provide feedback, like we need to get great at creating feedback loops within our ecosystem as well. So anyway, looking at the time, we are on the hour here. So I feel good. We got some more organization. I didn't get all the stuff. Let me actually copy this over here real quick. I can clean this up later.
Jas-
And
Jason, don't forget to share Mercury's info in the Telegram.
Yes, I will do that. We have a referral for Web3 Freedom Club. If a organization signs up, then we get a bonus with that for our organization. And that's one of the proposals that'll be coming soon. Likely won't be coming before February, but Web3 Freedom, we're going to reboot, rebrand as We Own Labs, leaning heavily into we own here in 2025, and that's only going to amplify because I'm really excited to have more conversations about we own stablecoin. So that's something that we already have a topic in our Telegram around. But yeah, here's the copy and paste on that chat. Let me throw in the link here too, because I don't think I got that. Where somebody load Venice conversation. Where's that link? Link. There it is. So there's an outline. And like I said, I'll clean this up a little bit, and then we can continue to work on the business plan. I'm really hoping that we can have a simple business plan that I can put because I've already shared some of my feelings around the business plan, but I'll be a litmus test, and other people will provide their perspective on things because we've identified some assets that we need. But anyway, I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to stop the share and bring this to a wrap.
Jason, sometimes just like when you make your business plan, you probably need to have two kinds, one that is simplified and one that is for investors, big investors.
Well, and I'm not sure that when you talk about big investors, we're not even at a point here, and this is important to unpack. Right now, we're not looking for big investors. We're looking for our first 100 founding members. We're not even going to make a decision to talk about outside capital until we onboard our cooperative founding members. And this is what the vision is for us to do a fair launch. So we absolutely do not need to create something for big investors at this phase of the game. We need to keep
I
it
guess,
very simple.
yeah, what I'm saying is, like you said, keep it simple so we don't really need a very complicated business plan, is what I'm saying.
Absolutely, because we're creating, we're not seeking big capital to invest in what we're building. Now, if we as a cooperative member organization, because again, um, I'm most interested in creating a better solution that is more affordable, that we can really facilitate a cooperative dynamic, because that I would really challenge somebody to find a framework that is a cooperative framework that allows me to have a self-directed IRA. I have not absolutely found that because I think a lot of these organizations operate with a for-profit motive, and like that's not the goal here. Wanting to create a better fit for to check the box, because these IRAs, these tax advantaged accounts are absolutely amazing. And that's the big value proposition that we're bringing, is bringing the tax advantage situation on chain, because I haven't found a great on chain tax advantaged situation. But anyway, stop and share, stop and talking. I'm going to let you all share some final thoughts.
Great job moving the needle forward, and good night, everyone.
Yeah, likewise.
I'm looking forward to seeing what you all build while I'm on a boat. So here, anything that I can do to help facilitate that. If there's not something, if there's something more that I can do, hit me up on the DMs, because love hanging out with you all. Love because it can be real easy, like I said, operating in a bubble. And I think a lot of Web3 builders operate too much in a bubble, and that's kind of the vision that really wanting to amplify through this founding member dynamic that we're creating within our ecosystem is to step out, get some collaboration from our fellow humans on creating something amazing, because most excited about this technology evolution that we're seeing unfold with AI agents. But till next time, everybody.